Hello everyone, myself Chital Dumne, working as an assistant professor from MVPS KBT College of Engineering from ENTC department. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the basics of sensors and actuators. Now this video I made relate to a IoT, that is Internet of Things, because the in IoT your physical layer of uh, physical layer of your IoT is nothing but always called as the sensor layer. So these terms that we have to understand, first the basics of sensors and transducers before studying the Internet of Things. So what do I mean by the sensors first? The American National Standards Institute, they have defined that the sensor is a device which provides a usable output in response to a specified measurement. So what are the input signals is applied to your sensor? So according to that input signal, the usable output will be provided by the sensor. So that is called as the sensor. It acquires the physical quantity and convert it into a signal suitable for processing. For example, optical, electrical or mechanical. Nowadays, the common sensors convert measurement of physical phenomena into an electrical signal. An active element of a sensor is called as a transducer. Now, number of sensors are available in the market nowadays that are used in your Internet of Things. That sensors, the may be analog sensors or digital sensors. That means the output of your sensor may be analog or digital. Nowadays, the analog output sensors are mostly preferable because output in digital form is always preferable when it will be interfaced with any processor or controller. So the active element of sensor is called as a transducer. So what do I mean by the transducer? A transducer is a device which converts one form of energy into another. When input is electrical, then output a physical quantity, it is called as the actuator. And when the physical input is physical quantity and output is electrical, then we called it as a sensor. So in this diagram, it is your sensor. It will convert your physical parameter into electrical output, while actuator electrical input into the physical output. So that is the output side, that actuator, and sensors will be on your input side. So this is the, for example, your piezoelectric. Your force will get converted into voltage, and vice versa, your voltage will get converted into force with the help of actuators. Microphones, loudspeakers, that are ultrasound equipments are available. This is the sensor system. Typically, sensor system convert desired parameter into electrical measurable signal. General sensor system, it has the sensors or transducers, and second part is the signal conditioning. Now your sensor or transducers, here in this diagram it is shown real world. So what are the parameter you have to measure? That parameter will get sensed with the help of sensor. For example, if you want to sense the temperature of a room or temperature of in an environment, that real world, that input signal, measured signal will be first sensed by the sensors or transducer and converted into a suitable signal with the help of the sensors and transducer. Now after the sensor you will get the sense data in the form of analog generally. So we require a signal conditioning unit that is used to convert your analog signal into the digital. So your signal conditioning converts sense signal into an analog or digital electrical value. So this is the about the sensor system. After that, after signal conditioning, whatever the data is in analog form or digital form, that will be given to your microcontroller for the further processing. How to choose a sensor? What parameters you should have to consider when we are going to choose any particular sensor? So these are the factors that should get considered when you choose any sensor for the application. First is the environmental factors. Which environmental factors you have to consider when you choose a sensor? Temperature range, humidity effects, corrosion, size, overrange protection, susceptibility to EM interference, that is electromagnetic interference, then power consumption, self-test capability. These are the environmental factors should be get considered when anyone will choose the sensor. Then economical factors, cost of your sensor, whether it is available easily in the market or not, that availability of that sensor, and lifetime. Lifetime means that sensor should be usable lifetime. So, these are the economical factors will get considered while choosing a sensor. Then characteristics of sensors also you have to consider when anybody choose the sensor. Sensitivity, range of the sensor, stability, repeatability, linearity, error, response time, frequency response. These are the characteristics of sensors. So, whenever you choose the sensor, first of all everybody has to go to the data sheet of your sensor, and in the find out these characteristics of sensors available, the range of that each and every parameter is there in your data sheet. So, whenever you choose a sensor, first go to its data sheet, find out all the factors that should be easily available with that sensor. Why there is a need of sensor? Sensors are pervasive, they are embedded in our bodies, in automobiles, in airplanes, cellular telephones, radios, chemical plants, industrial plants, countless other applications. So, without use of sensor, there would be no automation, because your automation is totally depends on the sensors, because your input is to your automation system is always the output of your sensor. What are the parameters you have to measure, that parameters will get first sensed with the help of sensor, and then your automation will be depends on that. So, we can say that without use of sensor there would be no automation. Number of types of sensors are available in the market. We will see the classification of sensors, that is classified as first active and passive sensors, second is analog and digital sensors. The sensors are also classified in the following criteria, considering the some parameters of that sensor. First is primary input quantity, that is measurand. Then second, transconduction principle using physical and chemical effect, which type of material and technology is used in sensors, property of sensors and applications of sensor. Then generally the classification is your active, passive and analog and digital sensors. We will see what is the active and passive sensors. Active sensors, the type of sensors that produces output signal without the help of external excitation supply. So, whenever there is no external excitation supply, then the sensor is self generating sensors, they will give the output by themselves, then that sensors are called as the active sensors. The own physical property of sensor vary with respect to the applied external effect. Therefore, they are also called as the self generating sensors. For example, your photovoltaic cells, thermocouples, piezoelectric devices. These devices they does not require any external supply for their to give the output from that devices. So, any sensor which requires to input energy to the environment in order to retrieve the measurement is active, that all the sensors are called as the active sensors. Passive sensors, as the reverse, as active sensors they does not require the external excitation supply, while your passive sensors requires the your external excitation supply to produce its output signal. They need any extra stimulus or voltage. The sensors are able to retrieve a measurement without actively interacting with the environment. For example, strain gauge, magnetometer, barometer. These devices, these sensors needs the external supply. Without external supply, they are not able to produce the output. So, that is why they are called as the passive sensors. Analog and digital sensors, your analog sensors that produces continuous signal with respect to time with analog output is called as analog sensor. By the name we can say that the output of sensor is always analog then that called as the analog sensors. Here analog output generated is proportional to the measured or the input given to the system. Now that generally the analog voltage is, that is output of your sensor, that is analog voltage is generally in the range of 0 to 5 volt, or current is produced as a output. So your output may be current or it may be voltage. So various physical parameters like temperature, stress, pressure, displacement are example of the continuous signals. So these are about the analog signal sensors. Then digital sensor, by the name I told that the digital sensor means the output of your sensor should be in the form of digital, that is zeros and one. When data is converted and transmitted digitally, it is called as a digital sensor. They produces the discrete output signal. Now that discrete signal will be non-continuous obviously with time, and it can be represented in bits for serial transmission and in bytes for the parallel transmission. So if you have the data in the form of zeros and one, then you can easily do the serial communication or the parallel communication. When your data output of sensor is logic 1, then we can say it is on condition. If it is a logic 0, then it is a off condition. A digital sensor consists of sensor, cable and transmitter. So the measured signal is converted into digital signal inside the sensor itself without any external component. The cable is used for long distance transmission. Some applications of digital sensors, that detection of leaks in gas pipes and cables using pressure sensor. Then second, pressure monitoring in tires, monitoring airflow, measuring the levels, then inhalers in medical devices. These are some the digital sensors. The output of that sensor should be in the form of digit, that is 0 and 1. This is the some pictorial view of the few sensors, that is the number of few sensors are available, that is LM35 is the temperature sensor. Then you have the color sensor to sense the colors, that is RGB colors will get sensed with the help of this color sensor. Alcohol sensor is available. Gas sensor, that is any leakage of gas will be there. Smoke sensor. Then your light dependent sensors, that is light sensors, thermistors, then proximity sensors, ultrasonic sensors. So it depends on your distance. Then your soil moisture sensor, IR receiver, water flow sensor. So with the help of that you can measure the level. Humidity sensors, nowadays the sensors coming that measure both the parameters humidity and temperature. Okay, so this is just the few sensor types. Just now the shown the pictorial view of these sensor types. First, that light dependent sensor or IR sensor, IR transmitter, photodiode IR receiver, then LDR light dependent resistor. Temperature sensors are thermistor and thermocouple. Next, pressure, force or weight sensor, that is strain gauge pressure sensor, and load cells are the examples of weight sensor. There are some biosensors are available, some chemical sensors are available. Position sensors, that potentiometers, encoders, these are the examples of the position sensors. Then to detect some magnetic fields, the Hall sensor is used. Then to detect the sound, you have the sound sensor, microphone, ultrasonic sensors, PIR sensors, tilt sensor, accelerometer and the your gas sensor. These are the types of sensors. Now we will see what is meant by the transducer. The factors that has to be considered while selecting a transducer, like your sensors. When you are going to choose the sensor, which parameters you have to consider, that we have seen now. These are the some factors, same factors that relate to sensors that you have to consider while selecting the transducer. First, it should have the high input impedance and low output impedance to avoid the loading effect. This is the first factor is considered while choosing the transducer. Then second, it should have a good resolution over the entire selected range. Next, it must be highly sensitive to desired signal and insensitive to unwanted signals. It preferably small in size, A sensor and transducer is preferably always in a small size. Then next, it should be able to work in corrosive environment. It should be able to withstand pressure, shocks, vibrations. If there are any pressure, shocks or vibrations, so that transducer should be withstand with that particular condition. It must have high degree of accuracy and repeatability. Selected transducers must be free from errors. They should have overload protection so that it can withstand with overload. So these are the factors should be get considered while selecting the transducer. This is the classification of transducer, that is as active and passive transducer. Second, according to transconduction principle. Third, analog and digital transducers. Then next, primary and secondary transducers, and forward transducer and reverse transducer. This is just examples of active transducers, that is photovoltaic, thermoelectric, piezoelectric, electromagnetic. These are the examples of the active transducers. This is the passive transducers classification, that how your passive transducers will be again classified. Your passive transducers are classified as variable resistance, optoelectronics and variable reactance. Your variable resistance again, that will be again classified as photoconductor, strain gauge and thermistor, while your optoelectronics, it has photoemissive and photojunction, while your variable reactance again two types, inductive and capacitive. Your inductive type again classified as variable reluctance, variable permittivity, LVDT and eddy current, while capacitive variable area, variable separation and variable permittivity. So this is just the classification of the passive transducers. This is the difference between the active and passive transducers. First, that active transducers is also called as self-generating type transducer, while your passive transducers also called as externally powered transducer. They require the external excitation voltage. Active transducer does not require any auxiliary power supply, while your passive transducer requires the auxiliary, that is external power supply for the transconduction. In active transducer, signal conversion is simple, while in your passive transducer, signal conversion is more complicated. In active transducer, energy required to produce the output is obtained from the physical quantity, while in passive, they also derive part of the power required for conversion from physical quantity under measurement. Examples of active transducer is Bourdon tube, while the example of passive transducer is LVDT. Active transducer generates electrical current or voltage directly in response to environmental stimulation, while in passive transducer it gives a change in some passive electrical quantity such as capacitance, resistance or inductance as a result of simulation. So this is the difference between the active and passive transducer. So in this video I just give the basic idea about the what do you mean by the sensor, types of sensors, what do you mean by transducer and the types of transducers. Thank you.